You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You know, this one's one that I can really, really get behind. You know, I have beaten anorexia, although I'm trying to get rid of some baggage right now. No, not at the airports. I'm going to leave that for other people. But I am trying to get rid of some baggage. So today is National Nachos Day. And, you know, I like nachos. I'm a nachos fan.
Yippee!
Yeah.
Yippee!
I guess I should put that on replay, on repeat, Josh. Once is not enough, right? Maybe it is. National Nachos Day. Now, I like the picture. We've got that good there. I will admit, although, you know, I know it's sour cream. Most people that watch us on a regular basis say he's probably going to say that there's sour cream on there. No. I mean, whipped cream. That's sour cream. Yeah, I did stay up way too late last night watching all of the results coming in and seeing what's going on. But can somebody take the cilantro and the jalapenos off? I'm a wimp. Yes, I know. Josh is just laughing at me. Yes, I am a wimp. You know, give me some meat and the queso and the sour cream. And I didn't know. Do we have guacamole on ours today, Josh? Is there guac on that, or am I no guac? Got to have guac on the nachos. Can I trade guac for jalapenos? Okay, okay. Josh said I can. Okay, good deal. Okay, let's see what else are we sell. National Saxophone Day. Now, yeah, we didn't bring a saxophone in. I do enjoy. I'm just fascinated by it. Kenny G. Is there a better saxophonist? Although, what's the? I don't remember because I'm old and I might be losing some marbles. Josh, do you remember the guy from the E Street Band? Now, I don't like Bruce Springsteen at all. Not at all. I mean, although I don't have to worry because at least now he said he's going to be leaving. But there was a gentleman on the E Street Band, and I think he passed away. But he played a mean Clarence Clemens. That's it. Thanks, Josh. Clarence Clemens. He was an amazing saxophonist too. I'd like to put Clarence Clemens and Kenny G. Yeah, have you heard of dueling pianos? How about dueling saxophones? Now, I'm going to share. Obviously, Kenny G is going to be a lot better because I believe, I may be wrong, I think Clarence Clemens passed away. So, it's a National Saxophone Day. Now, should we look at the markets? Do we want to look at the markets today? Yeah, the Dow Jones Industrial, well, it depends on what you do. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 1,354 points. The S&P 500 is up 120 points. The NASDAQ up 438 points. Oil, we'll call that flat. It's about 7 cents a barrel down. 10-year Treasury yield on that one is up 18 basis points. That means the bond is dropping. Not good for mortgage rates, but we're going to continue watching that one, seeing where that goes. And let's see what else we got. Oh, what else we got going on here? Gas prices. Gas is going to come down. We're going to watch that for you. But gas prices are going to drop. And I was on a call this morning, and if you're on social media and you have no life like me, 6:30 a.m. each morning, my friend Hammer Helmner, he does a show on social media. And I was fortunate enough to be his guest this morning, chatting about where the markets are going and just talking about what's going on with the rates. We got what's going on with the Federal Reserve. If you're a loan originator, Hammer does a great job every morning, every business day morning, 6:30 California time. And somebody asked, why would I make the assertion that the president has anything to do with gas prices? No, he doesn't go and change the sign. But what happens is gas prices, if you recall, when President Trump was in office or as he was leaving office, gas prices were significantly lower than they are today. Maybe not in California because we like high prices. We like high taxes. If we look at the election results, we prove it every time because we continue to vote in the same people who like to give us high gas prices, high taxes, high regulations. But if we look back and see, what did President Trump do? Well, the difference between President Trump's policies and President Biden's policies, not whether you like them or not, is regulation. Now, I don't know whether President Trump will do it or not. He says he's going to get rid of a lot of the regulation that President Biden put on the oil companies. Will that have an overnight effect? A little. Why? Because what's going to happen is the oil companies realized, okay, under the Biden administration, costs go up. We're not going to go for it, so we're not going to drill. So who sets oil prices then? Well, it's the world market, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, the whole Middle East. So what's going to happen now? Well, if the U.S. has as much oil as they say, and I have no way of knowing this, but if the U.S. has as much oil as they talk about, well, then the issue will be that the supply will go up over time, not immediately. Supply will increase over time. When supply increases over time, prices come down. Okay, if prices are going to come down, wouldn't you think that some of the Middle Eastern countries, some of the oil-producing countries, would want to sell their oil now at higher prices? Well, that's going to put more supply on the market now, which will bring prices down, and for the short term. And then the U.S. policy and the U.S. creation will bring prices down for the long term. Now, hopefully, and I have no way of knowing whether this will happen or not. Hopefully, we'll see that instead of all of this being done through executive order, we'll do it through the normal course of business. And we'll have the Congress create laws or write laws. President signs laws. And then it's codified so that if the next president that doesn't have the same beliefs as this president or the incoming president, the incumbent, well, they go to court and say, okay, you know something? Hey, we built all this infrastructure based on what we were told, and we want to follow the law. That's our hope. Will it happen? I don't know. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, how real estate agents take fear out of moving, what to look for from this week's Fed meeting. How much consumer debt does the average American have? Is there anything we can do about it? We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990, the Mortgage Minute, today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated from actual locked rates across consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. This is the rates from yesterday. Want to get them today? Sorry, it's too late. Conventional 30-year fixed rate 6.79, that was up. Jumbo 30-year fixed rate 7.099, that was up. FHA 30-year fixed rates 6.447, that was up. VA 30-year fixed rate 6.351, that was up. USDA 30-year fixed rate 6.429, that was down. The only one of the stream that was down yesterday. And as I look at rates right now, they are all moving higher today. And we could have guessed that. But if you want our thoughts on the mortgage world, every day we put out our report as early as the data allows, rsrlinks.com/market minute, rsrlinks.com/market minute. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets today. So Let me find our chart for the S&P 500. Right now, that as I speak, that's up 123 points. That's obviously a very large move for the S&P 500 if you are invested. And I know you are. Why do I say I know you are? Well, most of us have 401ks. So that being up 122.03, good news.
Yippee!
The 10-year Treasury, that's up 16 basis points, 4.448. Gone through some levels of resistance, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge. But remember, bond down, rate up. So we've got the 30-year mortgage bond. That's down 62 basis points, which is a big, big move. That means interest rates are up. Why? Well, obviously, it's got to do with the elections. Stocks soaring higher, bonds are lower, as there is a big risk-on trade happening. Other times, stocks and bonds are competing for the same investment dollar. Today, we're seeing money flow into stocks at the expense of bonds. There are also likely some fears that Trump's tariff threats could be inflationary. Well, you
know better than that.
Now, with the election behind us, the focus is going to be on the Fed. Fed kicks off their two-day meeting today with their statement and press conference tomorrow, 11 o'clock California time. Fed is fully expected to cut a quarter, 25 basis points, as the odds in the Fed future markets are almost 100%. Fed Mole, we've talked about this before. Nick Timiraos also wrote an article this morning outlining the Fed was going to cut 25 basis points, but the rate cuts in December next year may be in question depending on the path of inflation. Jerome Powell's press conference will be key, but we think he will remain as apolitical as possible. His comments on some of the conflicting data we've been getting will be very important. We saw a strong ADP report, slightly weaker GDP, weak BLS. That was somewhat chalked up to weather and strikes, and weak reports from business contacts via the Beige Book. Without much confidence or certainty, the Fed will likely stick to plan and cut tomorrow, but their outlook going forward could change. Yesterday, the 10-year auction was met with pretty good demand, which helped bonds capture back their earlier losses. Obviously, that's reversed this morning, but later today, there's going to be a 30-year auction, which could impact the markets. We will see. I doubt it'll really have a whole lot of impact. And remember, 30-year, that's generally just the institutions are buying that. We're not seeing too much other than institutional buying there. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. How much consumer debt does the average American have? Based on latest data, here's an overview of consumer debt for the average American in 2024. Total U.S. consumer debt reached $17.8 trillion. Ow! Oof. Second quarter 2024, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. This marks an all-time high and represents a 9.86% increase from the previous year. As of 2023, last numbers available, the average American household had $104,215 in total debt, increased from $101,000 in 2022, showing a 2.3% rise. Where is the debt at? Well, the average consumer debt can be broken down into several categories. Mortgage debt, the largest component, averaged $244,498 per borrower. Remember, if there's two borrowers in the house, double it. Credit card average per cardholder was $65.01 for cardholders with unpaid balances. This rose to $72.36. Remember, how many credit cards do you have? Auto loans, the average auto loan debt was $23,792. Student loans, the average student loan debt was $38,787. Personal loans, the average personal loan debt was $19,402. Home equity lines of credit, $42,139. Why do I bring all those stats up to you? Well, there's something going on right now And you're not hearing this in a lot of areas. A lot of places, they don't want to talk about this. Well, I've had the motto that we tell you what they don't want you to know on Ron Siegel Radio. Here's what they don't want you to know. When the economy is challenged, and it is right now, no matter what anybody tells you, we see it in all sorts of reports that are not publicized. See, they tell you what you want to know, but if you want to really find out what's going on, you got to pay for it. I've told you that before. And yes, I do pay several services to get information. ISM Services Data Index at 56, higher than expected, yet gains were due to delivery times and employment rather than business activity or new orders, indicating potential soft spots. Analyst Mike Green notes that current data, such as weakening manufacturing and services, typically align with early recession stages, casting doubt on the high GDP figures. Purchasing managers and credit managers, both ISM and NACM indices, have posted negative Z-scores since the fourth quarter of 2022, aligning with weak GDP performance, though reported GDP remains robust. Trade discrepancies, U.S. real goods exports and imports increased, contrasting both with global trade conditions where most countries report contracting export orders. Record highs in U.S. inventory sentiment indicate potential overconfidence in supply levels, though priced to perfection, sentiment could suppress demand in retail and wholesale sectors. ISM backlog shows shrinking backlogs and fewer industries with increasing backlogs, suggesting the potential impact on labor demand. Okay, so you got all these things going on. Why, again, am I bringing up all these statistics? How do I relate this to you and your house? Well, here's the deal. Start watching, and you're probably going to see that you're going to get notices from credit card companies. I heard from somebody just the other day that their credit card interest went from 29.99 to 34.99. Average now is 22.84. But more. People say, okay, well, I can still live on the credit card, Ron. It's all about my cash flow. But when the credit card companies see the data that I just shared with you, and they all do, because they've got a lot of smart people there, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to start lowering credit limits. When they lower your limit, you don't have quite the amount of money available as a backstop. But wait. You've got $300,000 or more in equity in your real estate. How many times have we been telling you, as certified liability advisors, we're constantly looking at risk and safety and liquidity. Now, I was on this call again earlier this morning. It's public information. So this gentleman was saying on there that he has real good credit, doesn't use a lot of his credit. But one of his cards, a business card, they went from a $25,000 limit, and I think he said down to like $1,700. And they said within a week or two, they were going to be closing that brand, that service from the company, that particular company. So he just lost $25,000 in liquidity. Now, I submitted that if he had that card, and I'm not saying that you do this with a credit card, but if he had that credit card, at 70 or 80% of the utilization, and I'm going to do it easy. I'm going to say 80, which is too high, but I'm going to say 80 anyway, because a $25,000 card means you have 20,000 utilized. You want to stay at 30, but I'm just saying 20,000 utilized. And if that money was in a liquid account, a money market account or something, they can't take it from you. Relate it back to your house. Same thing is going to happen right now with home equity lines of credit. The banks are going to come in and say, okay, we've got these home equity lines of credit and you're not using it. It's not utilized. And we have to keep reserves. Even if you don't utilize it, we're going to cut it. And you thought that you had this backstop. and all of a sudden the backstop is gone. What's the solution? We've talked to you about this before. MBElinks.com/2step. Isn't that what it's called, Josh? RSRlinks.com/2step. I think that's the name of our link. RSRlinks.com/2step. What is it? Well, you're going to pull some of the equity out of your property. I'm going to suggest 75% or go to a 75% loan to value. You can either do that with a refinance, or you can do it by getting a home equity line of credit, or you can do it with the Home Select product. RSRlinks.com/2step. So that's the thought process there. You pay off all your credit cards using up some of the equity of your property. This is going to help your cash flow by a lot, because even a line of credit, a home equity line of credit, I just looked at this yesterday for somebody. They're down. You can do them in the 6s, 7s, 8s, depending upon your situation. I don't know yours, but you can do those in those kind of price ranges and pay off those 22.84% credit cards or student loans or autos. And now you're going to use that as a 30-year payoff or a 20-year payoff. And then we're going to go and we're going to get you a lower interest rate on a full long-term program next year when rates are lower, or the year after. But if you're taking and putting that money that you were making in those payments today, say some of that cash flow, and apply it to the principal of the existing loan, you're going to be far better off over the long run, and you're going to have less stress. That's the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by RSRHomeselect.com, RSRHomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what to look for from this week's Fed meeting. Easy for me to say. And building financial habits that stick. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. What to look for from this week's Fed meeting. Maybe hearing a lot of talk about the Federal Reserve, the Fed, and how their actions will impact the housing market right now. Here's why. The Fed meets again this week to decide the next step with the federal funds rate. That's how much it costs banks to borrow from each other. Now, that's not the same thing as setting mortgage rates, but mortgage rates can be influenced through this process. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, you may be wondering about the downstream impact and when mortgage rates will come down. Here's a quick rundown of what you need to know to help you anticipate what will happen next. The Fed's decisions are guided by these 3 key economic indicators. Number 1, the direction of inflation. Number 2, how many jobs the economy is adding. Number 3, the unemployment rate. Let's take a look at each one of these. The direction of inflation. You've likely noticed prices of everyday goods and services seem to be higher each time you make a purchase at the store. That's because of inflation. The Fed wants to see that number come back down so it's closer to the 2% target. Right now, it's still higher than that. But despite a little volatility, inflation has generally been moving in the right direction. It gradually came down over the past 2 years and is holding fairly steady right now. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you're seeing a chart of inflation still not quite at the Fed's target rate. The path of inflation, though, still not at their target rate, is a big part of the reason why the Fed will likely lower the Fed funds rate again this week to make borrowing less expensive while still ensuring the economy continues to grow. If you're looking at the chart, please notice you don't see anything negative there. So when we had the inflation that was all the way up, and this chart shows core, which takes out food and energy at 5.3 back in March of 2022, it did get up to over 9% at one point, headline, not core. But those prices went up. But even though you see that the inflation, the rate of inflation is coming down, prices are not coming down. How do we square that? What does that mean to you and me? Well, what that means is if I go and I gained 5.3 pounds, not 5.2. If I gained 5.3 pounds in 2022, March of 2020, say March, Josh, does that say March there of 2022? My eyes are bad. If I gained 5.3 pounds in March of 2022, and then it looks like in May, they've got a number on there, right about the same thing. And then July, they've got a number on. See every one of the lines on there. I'm gaining weight every single month. Now, if I gain only 2.7 pounds in September of 2024, which is the last number on this chart, I'm not losing weight. I'm still gaining weight. So the bottom line is prices are not coming down. The rate of increase is coming down. Second, how many jobs the economy is adding. The Fed is also keeping an eye on how many new jobs are added to the economy each month. They want job growth to slow down a bit before they cut the Fed funds rate further. When fewer jobs are created, it shows the economy is still doing well, but gradually cooling off. Exactly what they're aiming for. And that's what's happening right now. Reuters says, quote, any doubts the Federal Reserve will go ahead with interest rate cut fell away on Friday after a government report showed U.S. employers added fewer workers in October than in any month since December 2020, unquote. Employers are still hiring, but just not as many positions right now. This shows the job market is starting to slow down after running hot for a while, which is what the Fed wants to see. The unemployment rate is the third item. The unemployment rate shows the percentage of people who want jobs but can't find them. A low unemployment rate means most people are working, which is great. However, it can push inflation higher because more people working means more spending, and that makes prices go up. Many economists consider any unemployment rate below 5% to be as close to full employment as is realistically possible. In the most recent report, unemployment is sitting at 4.1%. Again, you're seeing that on the graph on the computer screen, where unemployment is at 4.1%. And you can see it came down during we're going to get rid of the pandemic years because those don't count. But it is coming down, and that is a good thing. The unemployment this low shows the labor market is still strong, even as fewer jobs are added to the economy. That's the balance the Fed is looking for. What does this mean going forward? Overall, the economy is headed in the right direction the Fed wants to see, and that's why experts say they will likely cut the Fed funds rate by 0.25 percentage point this week, according to the CME Fed Watch tool. If that expectation ends up being correct, that could pave the way for mortgage rates to come down too. But that doesn't mean they'll fall immediately. It will take some time. Remember, the Fed does not determine mortgage rates. Forecasts show mortgage rates will ease more gradually over the course of the next year, as long as the economic indicators continue to move in the right direction and the Fed can continue their federal funds rate cuts through 2025. But a change in any one of the factors mentioned here could cause a shift in the market and in the Fed's actions in the days and months ahead. So brace for some volatility and for mortgage rates to respond along the way. As Ralph McLaughlin, senior economist at Realtor.com notes, quote, the trajectory of rates over the coming months will be largely dependent on three key factors. One, the performance of the labor market. Two, the outcome of the presidential election. And three, any possible reemergence of inflationary pressure. While volatility has been the theme of mortgage rates over the past several months, we expect stability to reemerge towards the end of November and into early December, unquote. Bottom line, while the Fed's actions play a part, economic data and market conditions are what really drive mortgage rates. As we move through the rest of 2024 and 2025, expect rates to stabilize or decline gradually, offering more certainty in what has been a volatile market. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And I'm going to throw one other thing in there as well because I can. So, you know, you've been watching these mortgage rates. And again, I shared this on the broadcast I was on early this morning. One of the big issues there also has to do with the fact that millennials, they're starting to realize, and I think I'm seeing, maybe Josh can probably help me on this one also, but, you know, for the longest time, millennials only knew of interest rates 3%, 4%, 5%. Now, Josh is fortunate enough to listen to me each morning. Maybe that's unfortunate enough to listen to me each morning. But interest rates of the 50-year average is in the sevens. I don't know if the millennials are starting to realize that, interest rates aren't always going to be 3%. And if they're getting married, and I know they are, if they're having babies, and we know they are, if they're graduating from colleges, that's probably the Gen Zers more than the millennials now. They want to start their own households. They've been waiting, for the last 3 or 4 years for interest rates to come down. It's not going to happen too soon. They might start saying, something, I'm going to bite the bullet. I got to buy a cheaper house, or maybe I just need to call the Siegel Lending team at Geneva Financial and find strategic ways of getting a lower mortgage payment, more affordability. And then I can go and buy that house that is right for myself and my family. And yeah, I got to pay the higher rate right now, but it is what it is. We know that we can't. What can we control? We can't control the price of the housing. We can control the fact that we're going to a cheaper house, maybe, maybe not. We cannot control interest rates. What can we control? Strategy. And Josh, do you have that banner yet? Strategy beats rate always. And we've got to, that's kind of a mantra that we have. Strategy beats rate always. And, you can look and you can say, okay, interest rates, and Josh shared that with us just a minute ago, what our numbers were, and I'm going to grab it here. Yesterday, the 30-year fixed rate loan was at 6.79. Yes, I know it's up a bit today. 6.79 is what OBMMI tells us that the rates locked at yesterday. Okay, so that's where they locked at. Can I control that? No. But what I can control is the strategy. Maybe we want to look at the Home Select loan. Best loan on the market. Not everybody qualifies. But maybe what I want to do is I want to say, okay, I'm going to put down 10% instead of 20%, and I'm going to use a few percent to buy down the interest rate. Now, you need to understand how to buy down the interest rate the right way. You have to have a real estate professional who understands how to do this. I know who those agents are. Yes, I have a real estate license, and yes, I can introduce them to you because I don't do real estate transactions. I introduce people who understand strategy beats rate always. So what do? We buy down the rate. Maybe you have to pay a little bit more for the house that you love. Because if you believe what they say at the Harvard School of Business, when they do their home price expectations, their home surveys, the household surveys, they come back and they say, what's most important about buying a house for yourself? Maybe not an investment, but for yourself. Well, I want safety. I want it to be close to family. I want it to be close to my job. I want it to be good schools. And then they come in 5 or 6 is where we put in price. Okay, so if you get all those things that you want, and then you find the strategy that says, okay, I'm not doing a 2-1 buy down. I'm not doing a 3-2-1 buy down. What I'm doing is I'm looking at strategy, how we can do a permanent buy down. And I don't know if we still have this available, Josh. Before you put it on the screen, see if we still have rsrbuydown.com. See if we still have that set up, rsrbuydown.com. So we go through and we walk through how exactly to do all the different types of buy downs so you can buy down the interest rate. Why is it important to buy down the interest rate? Because interest rates are more important than the price you pay for the house. You're spending more money over time on the interest rate. The 3-2-1 buy down or the 2-1 buy down, those temporary buy downs, those don't help you for qualifying. A permanent buy down does. If you don't understand what I'm saying, and I know a lot of people don't, it's not a bad thing. rsrbuydown.com, rsrbuydown.com. Go over there. I did a whole segment on radio about it. And then Josh cut it out, made a video, and put it on a landing page, rsrbuydown.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, building financial habits that stick, how real estate agents take the fear out of moving. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Building financial habits that stick, a roadmap for home buyers and future buyers. When it comes to achieving financial success, whether it's owning your first home, managing debt, or planning for retirement, strong financial habits make all the difference. But building these habits and, more importantly, sticking to them can be a challenge. At Ron Siegel Radio, we're here to help you make lasting financial changes that align with your goals and support your life, the life you're building. The key to effective financial habits lies in simplicity and consistency. Instead of overwhelming yourself with major changes, small and consistent actions can lead to substantial financial progress over time. Here's how you can get started on building good financial habits today. Understand the habit loop. Financial habits are much like any other habit. Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habit, it's an author, explains that habits work in loops. Each loop has a cue, a trigger, a routine, the action, and a reward, the benefit. By focusing on these elements, you can create habits that are easier to follow and sustain. For instance, if you make it a habit to check your bank balance every morning, the action itself, the routine, becomes tied to a familiar part of your day. Each time you see your spending under control, it reinforces that positive behavior. Take small steps that add up. James Clear's Atomic Habits introduces a principle that is incredibly effective. Focus on 1% improvements. Financial transformation doesn't have to happen overnight. It's about making small, manageable changes that compound over time, much like how interest works in a savings account. Rather than attempting to overhaul your budget in one day, start by examining a specific spending category. Could you trim entertainment expenses by a small amount or save a few dollars on monthly subscriptions? These small steps can add up and make it easier to sustain changes without feeling overwhelmed. Habit stacking for financial success. One powerful technique for forming financial habits is habit stacking, which involves linking a new habit to an existing one. For instance, if you already check emails each morning, add the habit of reviewing your spending or checking account balances. This way, managing your finances becomes a natural extension of a routine you already follow. For those aiming to save more, try adding a savings review on payday. After you check your paycheck deposit, transfer a small amount to savings. Over time, this small action will not only become routine, but can significantly boost your savings. Make your financial goals part of who you are. A crucial part of habit building is to see your goals as part of your identity. Instead of saying, I want to save money, try framing it as, I'm disciplined with my finances. This subtle shift helps reinforce your commitment to saving because it aligns with your sense of self. Similarly, if you're aiming to improve your credit score, think of yourself as someone who consistently monitors and manages their credit. When you make financial discipline part of who you are, it's easier to stay on track. Stay focused on the rewards. Many people struggle with financial habits because the rewards aren't immediate. However, just like a solid investment, the rewards of good money habits compound over time. One simple way to stay motivated is by regularly reviewing how far you've come. For instance, check your progress each month, especially if you're working to boost your FICO score. Remind yourself the benefits you'll enjoy, like better interest rates on loans or credit cards. Knowing that these rewards are within reach can help you stay committed even when challenges arise. Keep it simple and consistent. Complex routines are harder to maintain, so keep your financial habits straightforward. If sticking to a budget feels daunting, try breaking it down. Instead of tracking every penny, focus on a few key categories like groceries or dining out. Gradually expand your budget efforts as you get more comfortable. Automate where possible too. Set up automatic payments for bills or add calendar reminders for regular savings contributions. The simpler your routine, the less effort it requires, making it easier to follow through. Adapt and adjust as you go. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, certain habits may not work. If you find that a financial routine isn't fitting your lifestyle, don't hesitate to adjust. The goal is to find a system that works for you, even if it means trying different approaches along the way. Adjustments are a natural part of financial planning. As you progress, your needs and goals will evolve. Embrace these changes and keep moving forward. Ready to build wealth through strategic debt management? Building a solid financial habit is one of the most powerful ways to secure your future. Whether it's through owning a home, managing debt, or preparing for retirement, as a certified liability advisor, I'm here to help you build wealth through strategic debt management that aligns with your goals and lifestyle. At Ron Siegel Radio, we believe in helping you build a brighter financial future, one habit at a time. Take that first step today. Let's create a path to financial stability and wealth that you can stick to by making incremental, manageable changes. These habits will naturally support your goals and help you thrive in the long run. Remember, financial stability is built on a foundation of simple, effective actions. Let's start building that foundation together. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.